Saquon's on the cover of Madden. I'm happy for him. In no way do I believe in the Madden cover jinx or anything like that. The guy had an amazing season. I mean, any and every good thing you should say about Saquon Barkley, repeat it again and again and again. He deserves it. Part of me, though, Ross, is not concerned, but mildly skeptical that he can do it again. Not that I doubt his ability, but just history dictates it is hard to put that kind of rushing season after that rushing season. That makes sense. That's not even English. It's hard to do it back to back.
No. I know exactly what you're
for
saying.
The offense and for the player. Where do you stand on that?
It's a terrific point. And what I would tell you is a couple things. Number one, I don't think they want him to try to do that again, right? So whether they give the number 2 running back, presumably Will Shipley, the second-year man out of Clemson, I think they give him more touches. Maybe A.J. Dillon ends up, being productive. He gets more touches. But I also think they want to throw the ball more this year. I think that they kind of got away from the passing game a little bit because they were so successful running it that I think they'll put more on Hurts in the passing game with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They did bring back Goddard. Dallas Goedert, the tight end. That was up in the air. Plus, it's not just the track record, Andrew, of guys after big seasons like that. Saquon has an injury history, right? We all know this. When the Giants let him go to the Eagles, every Giants fan said, good luck, he'll get hurt in 5 games, or good luck, he'll never make it. Well, he had one of the best seasons we've ever seen. He won the Super Bowl, all those things. I'll also say this, Andrew, which I think is and maybe you can throw this back to me or Brockman or whoever, right? Saquon said something that I thought was really interesting, that he thinks that the Eagles are one of the best teams ever and that they're not really getting their proper credit. And I was thinking about, they were 2-2, okay? After they were 2-2 at the bye, they didn't lose again in a game in which Hurts played the whole game. They lost one game, maybe week 15, I think, to the Commanders, where Jaden Daniels had this great comeback, but Hurts got hurt in the first quarter. That's the only game they lost after September. And the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, they won by 30-some points. So I don't know why, and maybe you guys have the answer. I'm not exactly sure why more people haven't talked about the 2024 Eagles as being whatever you want to call them, a top 10 team ever, maybe a top 5 team ever, but they certainly have a lot going for them, with basically arguably the best almost every position on offense, and then the number 1 defense in the league.
Brockman, go 30 seconds. I want to get to his futurefans.com thing, but go.
I completely agree with you, Ross, and I completely agree with Saquon, this team's being overlooked, and it's because their coach is an insane person, or that's the perception nationally.
You think this is anti-Nick Sirianni?
I do. I think that a lot of people outside of Philadelphia, maybe outside the NFL, casuals, think that he doesn't do anything, and he's just there for vibes, and it was all the coordinators. It was all Kellen Moore. It was all Saquon. It was roll the footballs out. Jalen Hurts, they do that weird play, the push thing that nobody likes, and that they're trying to get banned. I'm talking about what perception nationally. It's ugly. They don't like it. They don't like their style of football. But if you look at every metric, they dominated the NFL last year, and they dominated the back-to-back defending champs in the Super Bowl. Saquon had an all-time iconic season. Hurts is on a path to the Hall of Fame now. So is their head coach. So is Saquon. So is probably half the defense. And I think people need to be talking about it more.
And I think Brockman, Andrew, makes a terrific point. The reason why the Eagles don't get their due is because neither their head coach nor their quarterback are considered elite. It's very hard to have a team be considered elite when people aren't willing to put their head coach or quarterback there. And honestly, we could have that argument, but I think Brockman cracked the code.
He cracked the code. He's the Rosetta Stone of NFL elite arguments.
Just not in South Florida.
Not in South Florida.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.